Let's talk about radicals.
Okay.
We did 37 yesterday, and we realized that that's the same as the square root of 36 divided by the square root of 49. Square root of 36 is 6. Square root of 49 is 7. Therefore, this is the same as 6/7.
Yep.
Okay. Let's talk about doing the square root of something like problem 36. First of all, let's talk about the number part of this. If I'm taking the square root of this entire quantity, then I'm basically taking the square root of 72, and I'm going to take the square root of x to the third, and I'm going to take the square root of y to the fifth. Okay? Let's talk about the square root of 72. How are we going to do that? Well, what we're looking for are factors of 72 where one of those factors is a perfect square. Because remember, I can always write the square root of 72 as the square root of 8 times the square root of 9. That actually would work. That gives you, because the square root of 9 is a perfect square, so that would give us 3 square roots of 8. But it's not simplified as much as it can be, because I can actually find 2 factors for 72 where one of them is even a bigger perfect square. 72 is 36 times 2. So this becomes 6 square roots of 2. And that's the answer for the square root of 72.
Okay.
That's simplified as much as it can be. Okay, similarly, if I had a problem like square root of 32, I would look for factors of 32 where one of them is a perfect square. Now, that can be 4 and 8, and 4 is a perfect square, but it can also be 16 and 2. And that's better because the perfect square is a bigger number. Square root of 16 is 4, so that becomes that.
Okay.
Okay? This is an important process for you to know, being able to take and simplify the square roots of numbers. Okay, now let's talk about the square roots of letters. Obviously, the square root of a variable squared is just equal to itself. Because that's the same as the square root of a times the square root of a, and that's equal to a. The square root of a to the fourth. Well, I can say that's the square root of a squared times the square root of a squared. You understand that step?
I do, yes.
This is a, therefore it's a squared. If we take the square root of a to the fifth, I want to break a to the fifth up into an a to the fourth times an a to the first, because I know what that is. That's a squared. So a to the fifth becomes a squared times the square root of a.
Okay.
Okay, so let's apply all of that together on problem 36. What does the square root of 72 become?
36, or square root of 36 times the square root of 2.
Okay, which is 6 square roots of 2. Okay. And the square root of x cubed becomes?
Is it x squared times x?
It's x times the square root of x. In other words, we're going to pull out 2 of these to make the x.